There is much concern that when the incinerator stack was reduced by 10 metres, that this would result in the dispersal from the stack not to be as efficient, considering that the original height was the recommended height. Could the committee consider recommending additional monitoring is put in a downwind location to provide additional monitoring of the emissions from the site? I believe Western School was a recommended place.
Thank you. As previously mentioned in the response to the questions, the current monitoring site is located at the Brine Reservoir, which represents an appropriate place because it's located particularly in the prevailing wind direction and on the predicted plume path. The current monitoring indicates that all measured pollutants are within the objective levels, and therefore the reduction in the height of the stack does not appear to have resulted in any dispersal issues, and additional monitoring would not be beneficial. Alternative locations were considered during the planning stages, and the Brine Reservoir location was considered appropriate. Other locations were not appropriate at that time.
Okay, thank you. Do you have a supplementary? I must have put those about to you.
It only gets the wind, sorry, 10% of the time. And how do you know that when it's actually been running that long? Have you tested it to be saying that it's not making any difference?
I think, as part of the planning process for all of this, the detailed models that are required for the planning permit require the industry to do an analysis of what will come out of the plume, how high it needs to be, the direction that it's likely to go based on the prevailing winds, and where any of the stack smoke, if you like, is likely to fall. So all that modelling is done as part of the planning process, so we can identify where we believe it's going to be.
At the incinerator in Manchester, when they switched off the monitors.
I couldn't possibly.
So really, it's likelihood.
In terms of the prevailing wind, we know that from meteorological data that is the direction that the wind goes in most of the time. We acknowledge that the wind, unfortunately, doesn't go in exactly the same direction all of the time, and so there is dispersal that takes place. That was identified to be the most common and most likely direction of the plume to travel.
Can I just make a point of order there? The fact that the Western Brine is placed to the southeast of the stack, so the wind that will be needed to blow the emissions in that direction are from the northeast, and the wind blows, not a statistical point of view, 10% of the time that in that direction. The prevailing wind in the location as it is in the rest of the UK is from the southwest. So therefore, these monitor the emissions that would be in the direction that they would be going from the plume, and the majority of the time would have to be placed in the northeast of the site, and that is in the southeast. So it is incorrect to make that statement.